Real quick review of what we covered last week, Pythagorean theorem. Remember, it will be on the park, so it's very important that you understand this. Pythagorean theorem deals with right triangles, and it states that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A and b represent the legs of the right triangle, and remember, the legs are the sides that make up the right angle. They're not across from it, they touch the right angle. C represents the hypotenuse, and we refer to that as the longest side, or the side across from the right angle. Now, several of you would love to tell me that it's always the diagonal, but if I take my triangle and I rotate it like this, remember, rotations preserve the angle measure, so nothing changed there. I still have a right angle up here, and C is still the side across from it, even though A and B look like the diagonals. A and B still make up that right angle, and C is the hypotenuse across from it. So a quick example problem. If we have a triangle with legs 5 and 12, we can plug 5 in for A and 12 in for B. And remember, it doesn't matter if you do that or vice versa. Addition is commutative. So it's like saying 3 plus 5 and 5 plus 3, you still get 8 either way. Plug them in, and then your job is to isolate x from there. So 5 squared would give me 25. 12 squared is 144. If I add these two together, I get 169 is equal to c squared. In order to get rid of that c squared, I've got to take the square root of both sides, because remember, whatever I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. So the square root of 169 is 13, and the square root of c squared is c. So my answer for C is 13, and then whatever units they would have given me in the problem. Another quick review is how to solve equations for x. Remember, if you're given something like this, you've got to get your x's on the same side. So I'm subtracting 3x from both sides to get this to go to 0. And I'm left with 4 is equal to 15x minus 6. Remember, my next step here is add 6 to both sides to make that minus 6 go away. 6 plus 4 is 10. I get 10 equals 15x. At this point, remember, divide both sides by 15. You get 10 fifteenths is equal to x, which simplifies to 2/3. You can check your work by plugging 2/3 in anywhere you see an x in the original problem. And then solving to see if the left side does indeed equal the right side. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Oops. 18 times 2/3 gives me 12. 2 plus 4 is 6. And 12 minus 6 is 6. So since we have this true statement here, you should know that you did your work correctly over here. And this x equals 2/3 is your final answer.